Hello, today we are talking about metric units of capacity. Now remember, capacity is the way that we measure liquid or fluid in a container, okay? So our metric unit of capacity is the liter, okay, in metric. In customary, it was gallons, pints, quarts, cups, fluid ounces, but in metric, it is the liter, okay? So we are talking about containers that can hold liquid today. All right, so how can you estimate and measure metric units of capacity? Think about that for a second. Okay, if we know that capacity is the amount of liquid that a container can hold, then we can estimate and measure the metric units of that. Okay? So if we have King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk, but we change this usually to liter. Okay? Then we have kiloliter, hectoliter, deciliter, liter, deciliter, centiliter, milliliter. Okay? So remember, these are the big ones, and these are the small ones. Okay? Let me write big there so that we know that that means big. So we don't usually use kiloliter. Sometimes we do, but kiloliter, liter, and milliliter are the most common metric measurements of capacity. So if we have something really small, a really small amount of liquid, then we're probably dealing with milliliters. Okay? If we have kind of a normal size container of liquid, then that's probably liters. And if we have a humongous container of liquid, then that would be kiloliters. Okay? So knowing that milliliters are small, liters are average length, and kiloliters are big, determine whether each situation is reasonable or unreasonable. Okay? Erica filled a bucket with 2 milliliters of water. Would that be reasonable or unreasonable? Remember, milliliters are tiny, tiny, tiny. There are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. 1 liter is half of a regular size pop bottle. So there are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. So could that fill a bucket? No way. 2 milliliters could not fill a bucket, so that is unreasonable. Okay? How about this one? Harper buys a 1 liter bottle of water. Is that reasonable? If we visualize those pop bottles that are over there on the counter, half of that is 1 liter. That's a pretty reasonable amount of water, right? You can buy 1 liter bottles of water, so we're going to write reasonable. Okay, how about this one? A recipe uses 10 milliliters of vanilla extract. Okay, if you've ever baked cookies with vanilla or baked anything with vanilla in it, you know that you don't put a lot of vanilla in because that would be just way too strong. 10 milliliters is a reasonable amount of vanilla to go in a recipe, so that is reasonable. Okay, how about a bathtub is filled by 3 liters of water? Do you think 3 liters of water could fill a bathtub? Maybe a bathtub for a hamster.
Here you go.
Thanks. But not a bathtub for one of us. Okay, so that is unreasonable. Okay, an aquarium is filled by 10 milliliters of water. 10 milliliters, that's still not even 1 liter. And an aquarium takes way more than that, so that is unreasonable. A dunking booth is filled with 200 liters of water. Okay, you know what a dunking booth is? It's where the guy sits on a little bench right here, and then there's a target, and the guy's sitting here, and then beneath this is a bucket of water. This is a dunking booth. And this is connected to the bench, and so you throw a ball, and you hit the target, and if you hit the target, then the guy falls in the water. Now, 200 liters of water, that's a pretty good amount of water. I would say that that is reasonable. Okay? All right. Use liter and milliliter to use liter and milliliter to complete the table to estimate the capacity of each object. Okay? So here we've got some liquid soap. That says 300. Do you think that would be 300 liters? Man, that's a lot of soap. I don't think it's 300 liters. I think it's 300 milliliters. Okay, how about this one, this watering can? 5 liters or milliliters? I think that is 5 liters, because 5 milliliters would not even be enough to water one little purple pansy. Okay? How about this bathtub right here? 150 liters or milliliters? I would say that that is 150 liters. Milliliters would not be enough to fill up a bathtub. How about this water bottle? 800? Whoa, 800 liters would be a humongous water bottle. Probably not enough maybe for the Hulk. Maybe enough for the Hulk. I'm not sure. He would probably drink a lot of water. But normal people do not drink 800 liters of water. So this would be 800 milliliters. Yes.
Hey, Mom, why are you doing it in pink?
All right. Example 1. Decide whether 300 milliliters or 300 liters is the more reasonable estimate.
And make sure a tornado is 103 milliliters.
Thanks, Lincoln. Okay, decide whether 300 milliliters or 300 liters is the more reasonable estimate for the capacity of the mug.
What? Oh, my teacher.
Okay, so we need to use logic to estimate the capacity. 300 milliliters. Helpful hint, 300 eyedroppers are reasonable. Okay, 300 liters. 300 bottles are too much. So 300 milliliters is the more reasonable amount for a mug. Okay, example 2. Decide whether 600 milliliters or 600 liters is the more reasonable estimate for the capacity of the swimming pool. The pool is a large object, so 600 milliliters is way too small. So 600 liters is more reasonable estimate. Okay, let's try these guided practice. Circle the more reasonable estimate for each capacity. This water bottle, do you think that is 1 milliliter or 1 liter? I would say that that is 1 liter. 1 milliliter would be not even a little drop. Okay? 2, the sink. 38 milliliters or 38 liters? I'd say the sink is 38 liters. And 3, this hand soap. 220 milliliters or 220 liters? Well, if it were 220 liters, that would be a gigantic bottle of hand soap. So 220 milliliters is the more reasonable estimate for that capacity. All right, great job, students. Look to the board for your assignment today and go ahead and get started.